By show of hands, I want to know how many of you guys have ever felt motivated, moved, inspired to take some course of action after reading a certain novel or book, blog, or post. Now, have you ever wondered exactly if the person that is creating all of this work that makes you feel so inspired is actually the person that is putting in the work, or if it's the actual work of a ghostwriter? After finding out that one of my favorite influencers use a ghostwriter, I took it upon myself to do some research on exactly what a ghostwriter is and what they do. A ghostwriter is someone that creates content for others and gives up the right of the work completely. Now, the three things that I found most important after doing my research was that one, the types of influence that ghostwriters have on consumer behavior, two, the biggest benefit of their job, and three, the biggest con of their job. In order to understand exactly how influencers are able to use the ghostwriters to make a big impact on consumer behaviors, we have to understand the outlets that they're using. In an article published by Slavic professors Katakova and Helyansinova, it was found that 3.28 million people, billion people actually, are actively using social media every single day. This means that 40% of the entire population is using some kind of social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. In the same article, the professors found that YouTubers have a great impact on internet economy by influencing purchasing behaviors. So what exactly does this mean for a ghostwriter? If they do decide to work with an influencer such as a YouTuber, it is possible that they can make big sways in the types of consummation that they're able to use. So in a perfect example of this can be found in the YouTuber Zoella. She is a famous British YouTuber who back in 2014 published a book called Girl Code. Within the first week of publication, of her release, she was able to make $1.7 million just in sales alone. So it was discovered that she actually used a ghostwriter in order to fully publish and write her novel, which in turn made her so much money. This means that it's possible that if she had not used a ghostwriter, she wouldn't have made as much money. And there we can see the big influence that ghostwriters make. Now, this is one benefit. Now, this brings me to the benefits of ghostwriting, which is the second most important thing that I've learned about ghostwriting. The biggest benefit that I found in ghostwriting is that they are able to create quality content that is much more relatable to the general public, such as us, instead of the publication of a big marketer or a big businessman. In order for us to understand and empathize with a big company, we really need to be able to understand what their content is trying to tell us, instead of listening to this language and these terms that are not commonly known and are really only relatable to people of that field. Businessmen, marketers, influencers, they all hire ghostwriters to help universalize the tone of the content, which makes it easier for the consumers to understand, which benefits the marketers themselves and benefits the ghostwriter. In the article called Looking for a Ghost, Kerry Zuckis gives his personal testimony about what it's like to be a ghostwriter. He states, "I am hired by those who are often relatively poor communicators to those outside of their field." So, in turn, ghostwriters are able to create more relatable content that we can all understand, and because it is so relatable, it feels like more quality information that we're receiving. So there are many benefits to being a ghostwriter, but there also are cons, which brings me to my third point of the biggest con there is in ghostwriting. Ghostwriters receive no kind of credit for their work, absolutely, unless it is permitted to some extent by the person hiring them. So in a sample from the contract called Writer-Ghostwriter Agreement. The confidentiality section states, a ghostwriter agrees to keep all information confidential from any and all third parties during and after the course of this project. So what exactly does this mean for the ghostwriter? This means that they're not able to ever talk about the kinds of projects that they're working on during, before, after, absolutely never, unless it is permitted by the people that they're working for. So, and sometimes if the work is small and it's not too bad, it doesn't feel so bad. But if the work becomes huge and makes millions of dollars and is publicly known, it can feel sucky to know that you are never going to get any credit for that work. In the end, ghostwriters are really all around us. Their work is authentic and real, but is a little bit of a deception for the general public. Ghostwriters are able to make big impacts in our world, primarily through social media and marketing, and have their pros and cons. As Allyson Felix, which is a USA Olympic medalist, once says, everyone sees the glory moments, but they don't see what happens behind the scenes. Thank you.